There are numerous ways to access the seating functions in MarkBook. In the class menu, there is a seating option. Similarly, in MarkSets, there is a seating option. From the main screen, you can click Printed Forms and click Seating, or you can click the Seating button right on the main form. This takes you to MarkBook's seating plan construction screen. MarkBook's seating construction screen is a grid. Each cell on the grid is a seat location or desk in your classroom. The front of the room is at the bottom of the grid. The back of the classroom is at the top. It's presented in teacher perspective from the front of the room. There are 6 rows, each presented vertically, and in this case there are 5 seats per row. Given that I've got a rather large class, I may wish to change the number of seats by selecting a different number of rows or seats per row and then click Apply. To remove specific desks from the plan, drag the red X and drop. In this case, my teacher desk is in that location, and there's no desk by the door at the back of the classroom. To insert students onto the plan, grab them, drag them and drop them, or you can use one of the alpha buttons or the random button over at the right side. Once you're comfortable with the student arrangement in your classroom, click the Print button towards the lower right. There are numerous options for presenting student names and checkboxes. Once selected, click Print again, and this is the form that will come out of the printer with your selected options. Notice that there's a 25-cell grid underneath each student's name, and there's a recording area up at the top of the screen for the contents of each of those cells. I'm going to enlarge the view a tad. Use these cells for whatever purposes you see fit. Some teachers use them for attendance, Monday to Friday for 5 weeks. Some teachers use them for check-off items like homework or uniform checks. Some teachers use them for recording their assessment data. So, assessment number 1 could be a quiz, give it a base mark and a date in the recording area up at the top, and then fill up each cell 1 for each student with their score on that particular assessment. There are lots of options for the check boxes underneath each student's name. You can remove them entirely by deselecting the Print Checkboxes button. You can change the number of cells up to 6 by 6 as desired. You can remove the description lines or include them, and you can change the numbering sequence on those description lines. If you're printing a second or subsequent seating plan, and the first one had 25 cells on it, you could start the second one at 26 cells. Suppose you'd like to create clusters or groups of students on your seating plan. In this case, add a couple of extra rows and a couple of extra seats per row and click Apply. Double-click on a cell. I want to add X's horizontally to all cells. Click Apply, and then you can drag the red X to other cells to remove them from the grid. Put the students on the grid either by dragging and dropping or using one of the Place Student buttons. And then click Save. Under Setup, select Printer Options and select Show Printer dialog box. Save, come back to Seating, and this time click Print. I've deselected the print check boxes. Click Print again, and a dialog box will come up. Instead of selecting Portrait, select Landscape, and click Print. And this is what the landscape printout with clusters of desks will look like. The next video clip will look at the use of the Photographs button.